A bit more time.
Yep.
Well, Skeeter still having quite the lead this game on his Weaver.
And I'm wondering like how effective a Battle Fury is in comparison to Gleipnir too, because just in these team fights, having extra lockdown and all this versus Weaver when your lineup is lackluster in lockdown. I don't know, man. We'll have to see.
Skeeter
Poking.
starting to get some sort of reaction. It's going to allow them to have the vision to set up for the combo onto Sweden Strong. The Pugner caught in the combo
Lasso.
of Amar. Lasso dropped down on a Cloud. He's able to get the BKB off, tried to tell the Raw, but he gets interrupted here by the punch-up. Still able to find the Raw onto Malrine. They lay down the Wukong's command, they've killed off the bat, and Cloud, he survives. Hook shot over to the side, they're going to see if they can turn this into more 1W. They've got the control on Amar. Shackle out onto the two of them. Falcons, they've still got the numbers, and 1W, they don't quite have the damage to push on for those kills. Now Falcons, they can maybe get more themselves. They look for the setup on the Respect, they catch him in the torrent, snowball over to Chira Jr. as they take out Respect on the Clockwork.
She's got BKB.
He's getting turned upon, but Chira Jr. will go down. Buyback comes out now from Respect. 1W trying to find more from this Skeeter, getting incredibly low, but even if they take him out, he of course still has that Aegis. The cookie heal's there though, and Skeeter, he's not even going to lose that. Keeps the Aegis safe, gets out of there, crit. He'll get caught in the trees though. Munkushi jumps forward, boundless strike, puts a stop to Crit's escape.
Okay, alrighty. Nice moves forward. It does, Respect does use a buyback, and it is a pretty deep dive that's coming out from Falcons, but they keep Cloud alive during all of it. Little Pavis thrown onto him, I think at the last minute, gives him that extra bit of barrier. Good fights. And now Munkushi, he's got the BKB, so he can start getting involved.
I mean, we'll see this again. It was a pretty aggressive move from Falcons with this Aegis.
But he's able to get the BKB up before the whole chain stun kind of comes into play, so very nicely done to keep that Beastmaster alive as long as possible.
And Cloud, indeed, as you say, getting his spells off, able to survive.
I think he had a, what was it, like a 20 stick or something it looked like at least, plus maybe something else. Something healed him quite a lot right when he popped that BKB, so. Oh, Cloud.
He's going to have to roar and run away from Skeeter. Should do it, unless Falcons want to try and go for another tier 2 dive. Skeeter in the same position as he was before, but not going to look to get in under the tower this time round. So 1W, they'll stay safe, and as indeed the moments continue. Munkushi on that Monkey King, the net worth is rising. The gap between him and Skeeter slowly start to close.
And the one cool thing about Battle Fury in comparison to something like Gleipnir, it's just straight physical damage, right? So you get that 65 rather than what 30 I believe that Gleipnir gives. So yeah, with the damage that progresses when he's got Jingu stacks and all with the Boundless, it's quite a bit of damage.
Yeah. And we're seeing a few times now with the farm that Cloud's got on the Beastmaster and the fact that he is having a good game. You know, Skeeter's not really able to go for him in these solo kill potentials. He doesn't at the moment have the damage to take down this Beastmaster. Cloud, as you say, progressing with the items, Blink Online.
Another beautiful shackle.
And with the damage coming in with the backup of Munkushi, that's Malrine gone. Jump forward as well. They can try and chase for crit. I mean, Snake King and Skeeter have turned up to try and fight back. They'll look over towards Munkushi, got his the BKB, and now Snake King's kind of trapped him with him. He turns, starts to put up Jingu. He's able to break the distance between the two of them. They've lost their Wind Ranger, and Munkushi this time will fall. Skeeter able to chase him out. The final bit of damage coming in from crit. Amar turns, cuts down Sweden Strong. Cloud, he has to go for the BKB TP out. They got the physical to kill him off. They don't. Cloud, he'll live. But 1W, a painful couple of losses, few losses in that team fight there, specifically that of Chira Jr. and Munkushi both going down. This time Falcons, they get the big kills.
This time they strike back. I think they got a little overzealous. They get the kill on the bat and they're like, oh, we can get more out of this. But nope, all of Falcons turns up, they bring the numbers, they get the wraparound. So a nice attempt there from 1W, but yeah, maybe just a little bit too excited after they get that first one. Cloud wasn't there until pretty much the end of the fight, too. They do need this Beastmaster if they want to keep going for some of those.
Malrine.
Cloud.
Seeing if you can close the gap there on Cloud, but Cloud, he's out.
Pipes finished up now for Amar. So on top of that Aghanims, now he's got that extra survivability for his team to be able to go for those crazy type of dive plays. And the lead has, I mean, just after that one fight, it did swing pretty big. It stopped at, what, 3K for a second? They've all finished up a full secondary set of items. And Chira almost having BKB. He really needs it because it feels like he's just a free kill if they lasso him.
Oh, talking about a free kill, he has been found. Irrespect's going to try and help out. Comes in with the cogs, but there's no saving the Wind Ranger. Chira Jr. dead again.
He's just too susceptible to this magical burst. If he gets caught in any type of he's just dead. They will have the follow-up. 5 times now they've been able to find this Wind Ranger. He's found some good shackles, but they've been able to find the better grabs just to be able to finish him off. And they have this ward bottom. They saw Cloud, I believe, for a second, but he's able to at least get to high ground.
But Gleipnir setup. Diving the tier 3, maybe a bit too risky, indeed, especially with the backup of Swedenstrong.
They're trying to pop
some
BKB.
kisses, though. And yep, Cloud feels pressure to put the BKB with the kisses coming in from Crit, so he has to BKB and walk it off.
That's a pretty smart usage there of the kisses. Now they're kind of trapped in their base, no BKB up on their strongest hero. And they're kind of trapped. All the lanes are shoved in onto their side, too. How can 1W get out on the map now? Things are looking more and more complicated in just a quick matter of seconds there.
And Falcons, they're going to be very close to having the strength to approach the high ground with the auras coming online. You know, the pipe's already done on Amar, and he's well on the way towards the Crimson.
And Skeeter just, I mean, I swear he was like 14,000 net worth about 4 minutes ago or something. I think he's farmed like 4,000 gold in 4 minutes or less. He's got a full BKB on. Full BKB, and he finds the Vindicator's Axe, which is probably the best neutral item you can get versus a Beastmaster Monkey King Wind Ranger lineup. They stun him, he's going to have plus 20 armor. And he's got the amp damage in the bottle for the next potential push, and 1W kind of stuck in their base. Chira needs to find space to be able to finish his BKB.
Falcons, they can take their time. They can look for Roshan.
Yep. They've got, I mean, they've got, what, 75+% map control now at the moment. And Roche, it is back up. Chira still doesn't have the BKB, so fighting into that Roche area, it would just be suicide for the Wind Ranger.
Yeah, I don't think they can contest this. Nope. You know, Falcons get themselves in position to take down Roche. They'll do it at a speed that 1W won't even have the choice to get over there in time.
Man, the first 20 to 25 minutes or so was kind of close in that front. Like, Falcons having a lead, but just one fight really exploded everything. This deficit is enormous now. Like you said, full sets of items, almost 2 full items on each core. Amar with the Crimson and a pipe. And the progression for 1W, it's completely stopped. Cloud's got a plate mail, but ways away from a Shiva's guard. Chira. They see him again. This is right before the BKB.
I mean, just sort of the kisses alone here from Chris. So much damage. The life drain will come in to survive. Keep him alive, but the lasso's going to be there as they tear to the side. Munkushi, bring him away from the rest of his team. He's going to go for the BKB TP out. That will save him, but of course, in the midst of it all, Chira Jr. still goes down. Swedenstrong into the trees, tries for a TP out. They've got the X mark in time. Beautiful catch there from Amar. I believe the vision was given to him by the player from Snake King. And that means still, they're getting the kill. Sure, they're not killing the Monkey King, but we're seeing 1W having to use the BKBs on their cores just to escape.
It's high ground
at this point, indeed, when the push comes through, what do 1W do?
I don't know how they defend these Raxes. I mean, they've got the glyph at the least, but look at Amar. He's already planting the flag, going past the towers. Level 20 hit on top of all these auras. No BKB on Wind Ranger. I don't know if he's even going to get to finish it before this one looks to close out, but Falcons, it looks like they have... Looks like they've done at least the majority of it to take this game.
Yeah, they can take a lot down. There's no real reason for them to...
I think they can stay.
Need to back off anytime soon with the strength that they have.
Yep. They've
everything.
got the wave.
It's another set here. They've got everyone back up 1W.
I'm watching you, Amar. Be careful what you're drawing with that X.
Wait, what was he drawing?
I don't know, but
I
was a little worried for a second. Catapult wave. And yeah, Wind Ranger has to sell an item to finish the BKB, and this is potentially the last hurrah. See what they can get. The long wraparound.
I mean, I guess you got to go on Snake King, right?
Have to stop him from Snowball.
Exactly. The Snowball's just going to save anyone else.
But the boat and the Crimson and the pipe, I mean, at this point... Oh, that's not one way to do it.
Oh, no. Well, let's pretend we didn't hear that hook shot that happened. But that was not the way to try and start the final fight, potentially of the game. Never mind, they still have a chance here with the Wukong's command laid down. No, they don't. He got pushed out of it. So the Wukong's command gets put to a stop. They've got the shackle on a Snake King. He's pretty tanky.
They're
All
taking
these auras
zero
that
damage.
being kicked out by Amar. I mean, they're just not doing anything at all.
They're not doing anything.
They've just got to run. They're getting picked apart one by one. It's all too much here for 1W at this point. Falcons, they'll kill off the 4 of them, respect the last one left alive.
GG.
He'll live alive long enough to call GG. This one's over. Falcons taking game 1, Fogged.
Yeah, like I said, first 20-25 minutes was pretty decent, I would say. I mean, they went for Focus Fire on the Wind Ranger, which I think also slows down his momentum and his growth overall. You could see that Chira's farm was pretty stagnated, I feel like, and he was desperate to find kills to be able to get that farm going, which he did get some cool shackles, but this game exploded very quick. 20-25 minutes decently close, one team fight that goes poorly, game's kind of over.
It certainly felt like that. That was a tough one. But you've got to imagine, looking back on this, one of the reasons why this did play out to be a bit of a struggle was, I feel, because of the draft, right?
Yes.
Their hand got forced 1W into a way where they had to make these changes. They had to do this adaptation and putting the Wind Ranger in the mid. Maybe indeed the Beastmaster was not their ideal choice of heroes, even though Cloud, for the most part, had a pretty good early to mid game. They were forced into a tough spot.
Yeah, I think like opening up with these 2 heroes that are cores, then you pick these 2 supports which aren't the most potent, especially not the Pugna in a way. You kind of revealed so much of your hand early, so I think Falcons, they knew how to play around it, and we saw, especially as the game progressed, they knew exactly how to play around it.
They did. Falcons looking excellent, as always, as they'll get this first win against 1W.
In very convincing fashion as well. And this was game 1 of a best-of-3 elimination series. It's the second time today we're seeing 1W. They earlier were able to take out Team 0. And if they want to have a chance of moving further, they do have to eliminate Falcons here, which I know is a tough ask, especially after seeing that game 1.
Whew, yeah, no, there's going to be a big bounce back required for 1W to muscle up against a team like Team Falcons. And in this game, you got to give props like Skidder on the Weaver. Right? He leaves his top lane, he occupies the bottom side of the map very early on, he keeps just applying pressure. And that was also kind of the theme of everyone on Team Falcons. Like, oh, look, we're starting the highlight. Guess who's diving to tier 2? I think this was, of course, we're kind of 20 minutes deep and it kind of feels like good. But before this highlight as well, it just kept happening and over again. So, yeah, 1W, maybe you could say a little bit too much reliance on items to play this game. And you can't do that against this pace.
And also the flex to mid from Wind Ranger made it so that the Wind Ranger had to go Gleipnir first, have presence on the map, because you want your Wind Ranger to be able to move around and fight into the enemies. And because of that, the BKB timing was incredibly delayed. By the time that Falcons got the second Roche, Wind Ranger was still farming up that BKB. They go through the gate afterwards, kill Wind Ranger again before she finishes the BKB. And at that point, you're only playing, when Falcons get that strong, you're only playing on one BKB. On your Monkey King. So Monkey King would have to commit it. Maybe they get a kill on the Batrider, but while that's happening, you're getting all of this range damage from Weaver. You have this Kunkka bot that you're worried about. And I gotta say, Weaver, Skeeter, he really popped off. He played an incredible game.
Yeah, and we talked about how, like so many times, we do mention how much damage can you do in the laning stage, in the mid game. Talking about hero combinations, this might also be one of the best ones I've seen, because Weaver with Tusk Weaver, you have drinking buddies, you have Shukuchi to get on top of the hero, you have double attack, so all that extra damage that you're getting from drinking buddies feels really nice, and pretty much a perfect game from Skeeter. He did die only one time, he was all over the place, and there's a big difference in itemization between 2 carries, where you have Munkushi going for Battle Fury. I had to double check. This is the only Battle Fury purchase on a position 1 Monkey King, which feels really bad. We're in a fast meta, so you need to be able to come online as soon as possible, compared to Weaver, who's buying into Gleipnir, buying into Power Treads, into these small items. So he's going to be ready to take the fight extremely well early on, and there isn't that much lockdown. There isn't like... He's not going to get focused down from 100 to 0. There's going to be a snowball save, some boat, any kind of help he can get from the team, and it felt really nice. This had to be one of the freest Weaver games I've seen so far.
It also feels like there's been miscommunication in 1W, where they flex Wind Runner to mid, and personally, if I have Wind Runner on my team and I see Kunkka or Snapfire, it needs to be Marshall and BKB. You can't go for the Gleipnir. Even if you can argue, sure, it gives you a bit more lockdown to play the fight, if you cannot enter the fight with confidence, then you're not doing anything for your team. And then you have the Battle Fury on the Monkey King. You basically put your position 1 and 2 to be vulnerable to any early game damage, to not fight into Falcons. And it's I don't think they were ready for this type of flex, because I think if this is Wind Runner and carry, he's going for a BKB. In the mid lane, his mindset's completely different, because I need to find kills, I need to be active. It's maybe the BKB on Wind Runner with a slightly more aggressive build from Monkey would have changed everything. But during the game to call for that takes a lot of discipline, and I just don't think they had it in this game.
No, I kind of also feel like at some point later on, it felt like Shira Jr., if he was just struggling a lot, he was found a lot by Falcons.
Yeah, Falcons never really let up. Even though we did see them get killed a few times around the map, they still kept barreling down whichever lane. And they saw the itemization coming out from 1W's heroes. They saw that Wind Ranger didn't have this BKB, and there was nothing really to defend him from anything. So they kept running into him over and over again. There were so many tools at their disposal, with the Mortimer's Kisses, with the X, with the Lasso. It was not a safe game for Wind Ranger to step up. And again, we talk about the BKB, but you're going to regret not making it in a game like that, because it made it so that you were unable to fight. And here we can see Amar's stats come up. I mean, Kunkka as a hero, look at this itemization. The Crimson Guard, the Pipe, the Mech, the Ags. Even when you think you have some signs of life because your Beastmaster gets such an early Ags, you have this offlaner who's building so much damage mitigation, never making that Beastmaster Ags a threat.
Yeah, and a cool thing, at least for Amar, you have multiple options for your facet. Collapse and most other offlaners want to go for Grog Blossom, which gives you the run buff on your X mark. But he's going for High Tide because he's in a lane where he can utilize the cooldown reduction against the melee heroes, able to apply that pressure to keep, whittling down his opponent. But I'm pretty sure if the matchup was different, then he goes for another facet. And that is kind of the beauty of what facets are. Like Amar, he thinks about it, he's changing it up based on his lane. And again, maybe in the future, all heroes will have the ability to choose other facets and not just only pick one. But yeah.
Lanes are so important. Like, this was the big part of the bottom lane going well, but also top lane. Sweden Strong, he did not have the Cripify until level 4, which was a bit of a mistake there. I think you need to have that, maybe even at level 2, because you're playing against most the physical damage, drinking buddies, you have Weaver getting on top of you. So you need some kind of a defensive tool to be able to punch back, and they didn't have any. Also, you're playing against Beastmaster. That's a really good matchup for Weaver, because you can dodge the axes, you can kill these boars easily, and they snowballed out of the lanes. There were some really good mid-game team fights that the 1W did take, some really nice shackles coming out from Shira Jr., but other than that, they had their number, and also seeing Malrine play, one of his Siggies playing this Batrider also shows that Team Falcons, they're not afraid to experiment, pick a really strong hero when it's a good game for it.
Yeah, and I also do want to highlight that a big part of Falcon Snowball did come from Weaver. Like, after the laning stage, Weaver... After the laning stage...
Continue.
Please.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Skeeter goes through the gate very early on because Malrine made a rotation to shut down Munkushu's Monkey King. He actually got away, and at that point he was doing pretty well on that lane. So Skeeter made it his job to shut down the enemy carry. He did not stay on his lane very long. He went through the gate, he got a kill on Monkey King, and he stayed. He kept farming the enemy jungle, and then we saw Skeeter diving that tier 2 really early on in the game, also killing the Monkey King, bringing hero TPs to that lane. Like, he felt like a one-man show after the laning stage at some point.
Skeeter is the only player in Dota 2 that has his own facet. That's how good he is on this hero. He has Skeeter Step. Just want to point that out.
Very fair point.
Have you been sitting on that one for a while?
Yeah, the first time when I saw it, I'm like, it's going to be a perfect time to say thanks for the production, for bringing this up on screen.
No, he did play great. His whole team played great. And it makes me wonder, we mentioned all these things that Falcons did well and that 1W was just basically one step behind in the draft, as well as in items, as well as in gameplay. And it makes me wonder where they should focus T in game number 2 to have a better showing, because we said the only time that they could do well in the previous game was if they stretched out the game very long, which is a tough ask to do against a team of Falcons caliber.
Yeah, it's a difficult one because draft-wise, if Pugna gets decrept before level 4 or whatever, and actually can delay the tag team damage, top lane can go better. If they can then do that, then they play behind Beastmaster. If Winona buys a BKB, they can maybe take a fight. I think we don't really need to harp on the draft too much in this game, because I think there are so many small decisions made by individual players that prevented them from actually showing what 1W can do in the competition and what they've done so before, that it's kind of hard to really find excuses elsewhere. So yeah, I think individually they just need to have a better read on the game, because if they don't, then yeah, Falcons are looking to potentially 2-0 this one.
Ooh,
Just play better is what T says, basically.
Yeah, that's always the case. But looking at top 3 offlane combos, I knew Kunkka Snapfire, we did mention it multiple times, is super strong, but the win rate is really up there. These two heroes, because you have a way of setting things up, you have quite a lot of damage, you have sustain in this lane, you have so much like damage mitigation. You have Cookie with the shard, extra healing that comes out, and also Mirana. And
I
also,
think that's only
100%.
Cloud9.
Okay,
That
that's
must
why.
only be Cloud9.
Because I've been trying to remember which team did play it. We've seen, a lot of Team Spirit bringing out this Snapfire plus Kunkka combo. Worked really well for them. But this one is also... I see a lot of Snapfire, though. This hero is really good because she can keep the distance. You can build pretty much anything that you want from position 4. And you're never going to lack damage with this hero, no matter what.
Very true. You want to see some other combinations, Effie?
I do.
For example, some safe lane combos that have been doing really well at this international so far. It's not surprising to see the cat ladies with the treant there, surely.
No, not at all. I mean, it's the standard high damage range DPS carry plus big strong melee position 5. I am surprised the Mirana plus Treant combo is at a 33% win rate, because Mirana is the highest win rate carry at the moment, I believe, with an 80% win rate. I have not verified the stats exactly, but I do believe she is winning most of her games and is respected as the OP hero at the moment from either support or safe lane. So maybe the teams that have run the Mirana plus Treant have pushed it down a little bit, but
the only time
different.
teams ban out the Mirana or the Treant for that matter is when they let them through, is when people know that they can counter it. They have a plan catered towards it, which is probably why that doesn't win as much.
Yeah, Mirana has a 64% win rate so far in the tournament, and I think it's just a hero that's been played so much by everyone that the stats will be skewed by some of the teams who are already eliminated, trying to play what the better teams are doing.
do you have the stats from Carrie? Because I think at the start of the show today, the first panel brought it up.
Going deeper, please. Give me a second.
It's also because we saw the win rate of the
Yes,
Mars
my
Mirana.
apologies. Let me develop this stat further. Yes, 63% overall. Yes. Core off lane, 100%. Core safe lane, 47%. 4 position, 80%.
That's
That's
Saxa.
where the 80%.
So the Saxons
But
of the
that's
world are
actually-
inflating these stats
Yes.
a little bit. There we go.
Because she seemed to be the carry that comes online slightly later compared to some of these other carries like Luna and especially Windranger. Because Mirana, she hits like really hard, but you need to get that level 15 talent, you need a shard. Your other big power spike is once you hit that level 20, but there are other heroes that counter her, I would say, more compared to some of these other carries who can stand the ground, like Windranger and also Luna, which has been pretty much the hero of the tournament when it comes down from position 1.
I do want to point out that in the game we just watched, game 1 of the series, Mirana was ignored.
Mar is laughing at something so hard, he started crying. He has something really spicy coming up for the second game.
Or
in the old
he
chat.
has spicy stuff in his eyes.
I hope not.
Have you ever done that?
Hope not either.
Where you have like cooked food and then put it into your eyes?
I think I did, but I thought I washed it off, and then you how you
happens
sometimes
again.
like you want to remove them, like you think you washed your hands, but you didn't do it well enough.
I'm still pondering the stats that we talked about, because I remember the first panel talking about Mirana's stats, and I heard 80%, and having it be played from 4, it has gone ignored. And there was a Kunkka in the last game, and Falcons opted for the Weaver instead, and they showed us why. It looked so good. It was played to perfection by a Skeeter, but teams have seemed to kind of look at Mirana as a finesse hero. I feel like she's a lot more individualistic for player styles than these Windrangers and Lunas that have been played for multiple months. Because Mirana has recently emerged as the hero of the tournament. So similarly to Sand King at Riyadh, who a lot of teams didn't play before and started playing then, I think Mirana is also in that situation, which could be why her safe lane win rate is lower than you would expect.
That being said, in Falcons, we got Snaking Mirana, Crit Mirana. They're both very strong.
They are. I'm just looking at the draft, which is pretty much the same openers, but
When you say pretty much, you mean like 100%.
100% yes. I don't want to see Windranger being picked up for one dub team after, because they reveal too much. These two heroes are physical damage cores. There is some mixed damage, of course, with the Windranger, but I would say that they reveal too much when it comes down picking up your position 1 and position 2 immediately. Sure, there's some flex to it, but they didn't flex it in the end, and I feel like you need a different approach, especially when you play against Falcons.
And they could hit them with the Batman too on 1W if they want to potentially rerun something similar, because that is the hero that threw their draft into turmoil.
1W might also just go, if we ban Weaver and let them have Luna, that feels better for them, because they, no way can a Luna play that deep into your map than the Weaver did, right? So strategically, if you need a little bit more time to come online, Luna, you play from lane back to the jungle. You might help take a 10-minute tower, but after that, you retreat to your jungle. So this could just be do the same draft, ban the Weaver this time. If they want Luna, they get Luna, but at least we're going to have, at least opportunities to find our rhythm into the game.
It's Falcons that make the first change. They ban out Batrider.
They could be looking at Windranger for themselves. That's a potential option.
Yeah. They're kind of reminding 1W that if you want to go down you ban this here, then suddenly you're opening up more opportunities for us to punish you elsewhere. So the Batrider kind of makes them second guess the ban a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Let's see where they go with this. As we said previous time, they banned out Luna and picked up Windrunner. Will they do the same thing? Or will they kind of almost have to ban out Windrunner if they don't want to pick it up. Windranger.
Don't have to.
It's not necessary. I mean, you can go for Kunkka yourself and play off of that.
True.
It would be a hero that simplifies 1W's gameplay for sure.
But what if then you have to pick Kunkka out of the face. So then you give also potentially Luna.
That could be fine, because if you're not taking Kunkka for yourself or banning it out, you're giving Falcons a Kunkka run back, which they would be more than happy to.
True. They ban out Weaver. That's the problem from last game. So step 1. We still have all the heroes we mentioned, Luna, Kunkka, and Windranger in the pool.
I mean, with the Bat band as well, they might still go for the Windrunner, knowing it's like, okay, we know what mistakes we made. They can't bat to mid. We don't have to do this weird flex. So, due to the Falcons ban, we could just see a repeat of the previous game.
Could. It's a better one for sure, because there's no Weaver, there's no Bat that you said, and they would have a better entry to the team fight. Ooh. But this is also fine. Yeah. This also means that this Monkey most likely going to be played from the mid lane. So far, we haven't seen Monkey being switched to position 4. I don't remember seeing a game, because the value that you lose, I would say, is too much. And also the recent nerfs to his tree jumping, you receive any kind of damage nowadays, it's going to go on cooldown, so you're not going to be as effective as you were a patch ago.
Mm-hmm. Fun fact. Skeeter hasn't played Windranger at all this international.
That's quite a Skidder thing to do, though. To enter a tournament, not to play the most popular hero of the tournament.
We're going back to Nature's Prophet.
Yeah.
And his heroes have worked for him, though. That's the one thing about Falcons is it always seems like Skeeter's had a slightly different hero pool than all other carries. Running Weaver when it wasn't popular, running Wraith King consistently when it fell out of favor.
Yeah, so, when he came into the scene, this guy was playing CK back in, I don't know when that was, 2016, 17, playing for Penta Esports, making the start of his career, playing CK when nobody else wanted to touch that hero, and that was one of his Siggies, still is to the day, because he really likes to play it, and he really plays it well.
Yeah, Falcons here in this position, I kind of expect the 4 again, the Snapfire, the Mirana, all these heroes that we're mentioning before. Any good laning setup for Kunkka? Yeah, it doesn't really complicate your draft too much. It's going to be a strong lane, can play into most matchups. You still have the last pick for your carry. And there it is.
It would be surprising if it went ignored again with another Kunkka, with it being such a classic combo of X and Arrow. But the flex is still open. We talked about Skeeter's slightly hipster hero pool, but this could still be a 1 or a 4.
10 seconds remaining.
Very true. It's something that 1W will have to speculate on as well, as they need some support for themselves. Previously, they went for Clockwork Kunkka. This time around, they get the Beefy Boy. That's the one we just saw.
Big team fights. A lot of circles. Trin Protector with Monkey King. Very easy to execute. Throw in Luna's damage from the Eclipse. You have a very easy team fight. You don't have to, necessarily hit any of these spells like, wow, I need to hit X mark into arrow combo, snowball save. This type of a draft is relatively easy to play from 1W.
And we saw the win rate of these two heroes as a safe lane pairing. It's the highest of the tournament for any safe lane pairing. But also, if this Mirana was being considered in the carry role, Treant is a solution to her, because you can just overgrowth, stop her leaps, stop her attacks, with all of that immense damage from Solar Flare.
And 1W is a team that can still play the Monkey support. We already mentioned that we don't see it, but Sweden Strong, he was the first Monkey King player when the new map got released, with the tree on top of the... So, do you know how big the map is? There used to be trees on the extremes of the map. He was the player, the first pro, to jump on those trees, making it untargetable, and actually getting it patched out within 24 hours. But yeah, he likes playing position for Monkey King, and that flex to the very end could enable the draft a little bit more, because Tree Luna doesn't need help. Beastmaster, after some waves, could be independent to some degree, and then you can play on the map. So, something to consider.
And we talked about this